Random Acts of Kindness at the Cat Cafe by Rob Chantler.
Nearly 10 o'clock, have to close at 10, I'm afraid.
Oh, is it 10 o'clock already?
It is.
Oh, well, I suppose you have to get some sleep, don't you?
Absolutely. We all need our sleep. Even the cats. Some of them have gone to bed already. Good Lord, the heavens have opened. That wasn't mentioned in the forecast.
Have I not commanded you to be strong and courageous? Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9.
Quite right, Father, quite right.
And it's gone 10 o'clock. And we were meant to close at 10.
Well, I would go, but...
No, 10. I couldn't in all good conscience shut up shop and throw you in the parlour and the others out in this monsoon. You stay here for now. I'm sure it will all just be a freak storm and pass on its way. Oh, come in quickly. I don't want the cats going out in this weather. Why, you're soaked.
Thank you. I must apologise for my husband.
Why, what's he done?
Wait for it.
I'm Paul Johnson. I am Enforcement Director for the local council, and I noticed as we were passing by that you were still open at 10:02 p.m.
Do you roam the streets in weather like this to check if the shops are closed?
No, we were coming home from the cinema, and I noticed the lights were on.
I told you.
Right, well, just come in, have a cuppa and stroke a cat for heaven's sake.
Well, that would make me complicit in...
Well, I won't say anything if you won't. Now, there's just 2 rules.
Yes?
1, treat the cats with absolute love and respect. And 2, treat the cats with absolute love and respect.
That's not 2 rules, that's 1 rule, twice.
That's because it's so important.
Yes, well, I like rules. Rules I like. Where would we be without them?
France.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not learn from your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your path. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 6.
Isn't that the old priest? I wondered where he had gone.
He was retired. I think sadly he has lost his mind.
I lost my job, I lost my faith. My mind is as it always was.
Of course, Father. Now, would you like another pot?
Oh, God bless you.
Hello, Father. You might not remember me. Paul Johnson. You baptised my daughter, and...
Please sit somewhere else, thank you.
Very well. I'll sit here.
Now, do as you're told. Stop talking about health and safety. And stroke a cat.
Miriam,
Yes, Paul?
I see you have a 5-star food hygiene rating from the council.
I do. Last month they did it.
Presumably the cats don't go in the kitchen then.
No, Paul. There's a utility room where they get fed and do their business.
Very well. I'll take your word for that.
I would if I were you. Let me go and bring the teas over.
You are so embarrassing. Your colleague did the rating and you still sound distrustful.
Just because there were no cats in the kitchen when Martin visited, it doesn't mean they don't go in there other times.
Well, I believe Miriam. She seems like a lovely lady. You should stop being so cynical.
Here's a pot of of tea for you, Mr. Johnson and Mrs. Johnson. Haven't forgotten you.
Do you want to take the lid off and check there's no cat in it?
Oh, yes. Very funny.
Here's one for you, Father.
For what I'm about to receive, may the Lord make me truly grateful. Amen.
Amen. Say amen.
Amen.
Bless you, my children.
Well, we weren't dressed for a rainstorm. It wasn't forecast, so for one, I'm delighted your lights have caught the bullseye and that you were open.
Well, we're all about kindness here. And sometimes to be kind, you have to bend the rules.
Absolutely.
You start bending rules, and where does it end?
Sorry, darling, but by the time we walked home, we would have been drowned.
Well, please feel free to stay until it stops. I'm sure it won't rain for long.
I do feel rather guilty keeping you up, Miriam.
Ted, I live upstairs. I just climb the stairs, make a cocoa, and I'm in bed before you know it.
Well, if you're sure. I don't want to go out in the storm, but I have a good sturdy coat and you need your sleep.
You need a sou'wester to go out in that, and I get enough sleep.
You're still open, aren't you?
Yes,
Thank God. Can I come in?
of course.
Car broke down. Buy a fancy car and it breaks down. What a joke.
Well, I'm usually shut at 10, but I stayed open to shelter people out from the storm.
Well, that's very kind of you.
I'll hang your coat for you.
Good.
Normally, entry would be £10, but I'm not charging people who come in after hours because of the storm.
Well, don't do that, or you have no business.
Just tonight, I'm prepared to overlook it. You can pay it if you want.
No, that's fine.
I see. I'm Miriam, by the way.
Okay, and?
Just be polite.
Okay, well, I'm Henry.
Well, why don't you sit over there, Henry, and I'll make you some tea.
Any beer?
No, just tea.
Oh, well, better than nothing.
Quite.
Is the tea free tonight as well?
Yes.
Have you got Wi-Fi?
Yes, but it's old-fashioned broadband, so it uses the phone line. It should be okay. I don't use it, really.
Right. Okay, I just need to check my emails.
As you wish.
Sorry to overhear, but why are you checking your emails at 10:15?
I'm in the city. Village person.
Ted.
Whatever. Life doesn't stop. We moved out here because my wife wanted a quiet life in the country. But I still have to keep in touch with the city 24/7.
Oh dear, sorry to hear that. Must be stressful.
It pays well.
Second home, is it?
No, we sold our London pad to buy a cottage here. Well, more like a manor, really.
Well, move to the country and the pace of life is different. I mean, public transport's non-existent, isn't it, Miriam?
Yes, Ted.
I haven't even got Freeview, have I, Miriam?
No, Ted.
Good God, what do you do with yourself?
Nothing I talk about in here.
No, Ted. Not in front of the cats.
Oh, sorry, Miriam. Sorry, cats.
Heavens! How many people are out in this storm? Welcome. Come in.
Oh, I'm Alison, and this is my wife Gemma. We've just got married.
Oh, lovely.
I mean, not this minute, obviously, but the other week.
Well, come on in out the rain.
I know this is a cheat, but we wondered if you had a room. You see, on the back of our mini honeymoon, we came on an impromptu trip, and well, the only bed and breakfast in the village with a room, well,
We were offered a double room by the lady at the mill, but when we said we were Mrs. and Mrs. Scott, the room was mysteriously unavailable all of a sudden.
Oh, well, she's a bit... Well, she's a good woman, but, you know...
Anyway, we was looking for a room, basically.
There was no room at the inn, so Mary and Joseph had a stable.
Well, I do have a spare room as it happens, and you're very welcome to stay tonight. It isn't the Ritz, but it's comfy enough. I'll go make it up for you.
Thank you, that's really very kind. Sorry to impose.
No bother. If everyone was kinder to one another, the world would be a much better place, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I take it you approve of our relationship then?
Well, I don't understand it, but love is love, isn't it? I would never treat anyone less well for any reason, as long as they're nice to me and nice to my cats.
Well, that sounds fair. How much do you want for the room?
Oh, heavens, nothing, my dear. Can't charge a B&B, really. I mean, I'm not a B&B.
You are a really lovely person.
I try to make a difference in my own way. Why don't you both put your cases down and have a drink?
All right, thank you. Oh, what do you have?
Tea.
Then tea it is.
Seeing as you're being so kind to all of us, I have to confess, I don't think I'm kind enough. I mean, I expect people to be nice to me and Gemma, but am I nice enough to other people?
Well, I'm sure you and Gemma do your bit in your own way.
Yeah, we helped that blind man find the right bus stop in London the other day.
That's true, yeah.
I really believe that everyone is born kind. It's just the things that happen to them along the way that makes them forget what kindness is and what kindness does.
Oh, you've missed your vacation, Miriam. You should have written my sermon.
Oh, thank you, Father. That's very kind of you. And there we have another kindness. Always nice to get a compliment.
Yeah.
There are so many cats here.
Well, I decided years ago that when I retired from teaching, I wanted to run a cat cafe. And it's been a lucrative decision and given me the perfect excuse to surround myself with cats. Which reminds me, as it's your first time, I'm Miriam, and the rules are 1. Treat my cats with absolute love and respect. And 2. Treat my cats with absolute love and respect.
That's the same rule twice because it's so important.
Right, Paul.
Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but to the interest of others. Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 to 4.
I think that one was for you, Henry.
Okay.
Oh dear, Bertie doesn't like you, does he?
Apparently not. Well, not many people do either. But you have to trample a few people on the way to the top, don't you?
If you say so.
We love cats.
Then you're even more welcome. Oh, Bertie's taken a shine to you. He's a good judge of character.
Thanks a bunch.
Oh, don't take it personally, Henry. I didn't mean you weren't.
Miriam, did you know your health and safety at work poster is out of date?
No.
Oh, give it a rest. Who cares?
It's the 10th issue,
And what should it be?
the 11th issue.
See what I have to put up with, Miriam.
Yes. So, what's the difference?
The law requires you to display a current one.
And how does it differ to this one?
The border is pink,
Why does it matter if the border's pink?
so we can tell if it's the 11th issue.
Paul, dear, I don't know how to say this kindly, but have you ever thought about how lovely life would be without Jobsworths?
I don't think about that.
I do all the time.
If I spend however much...
£15.
£15?
Yes.
Well, spending £15 on a poster with a pink trim is about 20 tins of cat food, and the cats are more important than a stupid poster. Cats are easy, you know, as long as they have somewhere safe and comfy to sleep, something to eat and drink and lots of love. They're totally happy. Wouldn't you like to be like that?
I am happy. Enforcement is my life.
Well, just for tonight, why don't you go back over there and sit down and have your tea and stroke a cat,
Kindness is overrated, if you ask me.
Well, we weren't.
If I was kind and went round letting people off their health and safety offences...
People might like you.
Oh, nice.
Please could I have another of your lovely scones, Miriam?
Oh, of course, Ted.
When it comes to kindness, Miriam has it in spades. Makes me remember that I ought to be more kind to people.
You are, Ted.
What have I done for someone else today, Miriam?
I don't know, Ted. I've been here all day.
I mean you. You've let people in for free, stayed open after hours, put up a couple at a moment's notice and kept us all warm and cosy till the storm passes.
Oh, come on. You must have done something kind today. Think on it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I helped a young mum get her buggy off the bus this morning, even though I nearly done myself in lifting it.
Well, there you are then. That counts.
Have you done something kind today, Father?
I prayed for you.
Don't overdo it, will you?
Hello? Yes. Calm down, love, and tell me what's happened. Amelia's what? Stormed out? Well, she's a teenager, isn't she? She won't be out long in this, will she? I'm at the cat cafe. Popped in so I wouldn't get drowned. Well, the car broke down by the pub, which closed at 9:30. This village is stuck in the 19th century. I'll go and look for her when the rain stops. I do care. No, don't call the police, but... No. Yes. Right. Bye.
Everything all right?
Daughter's had a row with her mum, hasn't she? And stormed out. She does that sometimes.
Well, I'll keep an eye out.
Emails. What's the Wi-Fi password?
Hang on. It'll come to me in a minute.
Come on.
Be patient, you got a bus to catch.
Mind your own business.
Even the cats don't go near him.
Oh, village pub. All lowercase, but it won't work if the phone line's down.
I'm not a cat person.
Oh, you are. You just don't know it yet.
Cats don't either.
Shut up.
This is Whiskers. I talk to Whiskers and I philosophise, and it doesn't matter how much twaddle I come out with, he just sits, looks at me with those deep eyes and purrs and lets me stroke him. He never argues, he never judges, he's just Whiskers.
Well, it makes a change to talk without anyone else arguing with you. That wouldn't happen at work or at home.
Well, I'm retired, but I used to work on the buses, when we had local buses, and it was all right. Not like being a cabbie when you're sort of expected to make conversation.
I try and avoid cabbies in the city. They all have the same spiel: weather, immigrants, and the shortcomings of the Tory party.
Well, there's not many immigrants here, really. I mean, nothing for 'em here. How many locals in the village, Miriam?
Well, about a couple of hundred, I think, excluding the tourists who stop off for a day or so on their way to something more exciting.
Amazing. You get enough customers.
I manage. I mean, I own the place and it's just me, so as long as the bills are paid, I can get by. That's all I need.
Oh my god, I couldn't possibly live like that. I take home 200k a year, and that's just about enough with my wife's earnings as well.
Is that 200,000?
Yes.
Blimey, I never earned that in my lifetime.
For the love of money is the root of all evil, which some coveted after they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10.
Is he in here all the time?
Most days. We all know our Bible.
Shouldn't he be in church?
Defrocked.
Retired.
Lost his faith.
Told the bishop to get stopped.
Right.
Anyway, whatever he did, he's welcome here. You're welcome here, Father.
Oh, bless you, my child.
What do you mean, defrocked?
It's what they do to naughty priests.
Look, the bishop had a go at me and refused to apologise. I said God was my boss, not him. And he said he'll throw me out. So I told him to stuff it up his cassock.
Are you in need of a refill, Henry?
What? Oh, tea, yes.
Right. That's Bertie. He's a bit old and weather-beaten, but then all of our cats are.
He's lovely.
When I opened, I went to the cat shelter and asked for the 15 cats that nobody wanted. The ones with one eye or 3 legs or something, they seemed to need love the most. So I took them in and gave them a home, and they gave me and my customers love in return.
I can tell Bertie that I'm gay and he don't care. Her at the bed and breakfast could learn from Bertie.
Everyone is welcome here. We follow the cat's example.
I'd like a cat. Maybe when we get home, we'll adopt one.
Yeah.
We were going to adopt a child if we're allowed.
Yeah, and now a cat as well.
I love cats. There's a connection between humans and cats, you know. They experience love. They're totally loyal. They're very insightful and wise, and independent of spirit in my experience. Good judges of character.
He's lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you don't mind me asking, what do you both do, you know, for jobs?
Hairdresser.
Interior designer.
We met at a big beauty and lifestyle exhibition in Cardiff.
About 2 years ago.
I do Gemma's hair.
She does. It's beautiful.
I won South of England stylist 3 years running.
Well done.
I could give you a makeover if you wanted. You know, like as a thank you.
Well, thank you, dear, but I'm a bit past makeovers. Anyway, who does your hair?
Leon Cavalieri. He's in Mayfair.
We make a day of it.
Oh my god, somewhere is actually open.
Oh, I forgot to lock it. Anyway, dear, come on in. Welcome to my cat cafe.
Well, unless they're on the menu, Dad certainly won't be in here. He's so not a cat person.
Fine. Well, coming out the storm, you picked a bad night to walk out, you know.
How did you know Ugh. Dad's here, isn't he? He told you.
Whoops. We overheard your mum on the phone to him.
I'm off.
Stay!
Don't tell me to stay like I'm one of your pets.
Sorry. Well, just come on. Let's find somewhere quiet that you and your dad can talk. Talking helps, you know.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
I told Mum and Dad not to drag me off to some backwater, and they didn't listen. Now I have to go about 100 miles to the nearest nightclub. And there's only 2 trains an hour. There's no fit guys, I can't stream movies. It's like the dark ages.
Well, yes. Lower still water isn't a natural fit for a young city girl.
You can say that again.
Amelia? Your mum was on the phone, worried sick.
Yeah, well, it's her fault, isn't it?
Why?
Bringing me here, making out like everything's cool and I miss the city, miss my friends. It's all about her, isn't it? Even you didn't want to move, but she had to have it her way, didn't she?
She needed to come to the country. Nearly went psycho living in the city. And we had a nice apartment too.
Yeah, well, I'm going psycho, stuck on the set of some creepy horror film or something.
I thought you settled in here.
No, you're never home because you're always working, and when you are home, you're always working. You never listen to me.
Well, we can't just go back to the city. It will upset your mum.
Yeah, well, if we don't go back soon, I'll move out.
Not until you're 16, you won't.
Only a few months, and it can't come soon enough.
Don't raise your voices, please. It disturbs the cats.
Sorry.
I was married. 30 years we were together, and the whole time she called the shots and I obeyed.
So?
Just saying, your dad's not the only man to be run by the wife.
I am not run by the wife.
Sounds like you are to me.
Well, I'm not.
If I refused to do what the wife said, she wouldn't have sex with me, so I had to give in every time.
Yes, well...
If she wanted a quiet life, she would have sodded off and had a quiet life, and let us enjoy ours.
Well, yes, but...
But who's more important, Dad? Her or me?
You're both important.
Yeah, but obviously she's more important than me.
I love Lower Stillwater. There's the pub, the post office, Miriam's cafe and the doctors, and that's all I need.
Shut up and stop interfering.
Hard not to in here.
Yeah, stay out of it, Grandad. I might like it here if I was an old fart like you, but I'm not, am I?
Now, look, Henry, Amelia. Ted means well, okay, and we all care about each other in here, as well as the cats. So I would ask you again, please, don't have arguments with each other. It upsets the aura.
Whatever.
I didn't want to come out to the country. Moving back to the city is hard, though. When we moved out, the place we bought was less than our pad, A lot less. Moving back, we'll get a lot less for our money, especially as the prices have gone up already in the last few months.
So? I'd rather have a flat in the city than a mansion in the sticks.
We've been here for months. Why didn't you say anything to us before?
No point, was there? Mum made up her mind, and that was that. And when I do say stuff, you and Mum don't listen.
You must have made some friends at school.
Really? Seen any friends around our house, have you? In case you hadn't noticed, it's a half-an-hour bus ride to school, and the kids have nothing in common with me. They're a bunch of country mice who like staring at hills and riding their ponies. They don't know the hell I'm in.
Right.
Fine, what school do I go to? You don't even know the name of my school. You haven't noticed I have no friends. If it wasn't for Instagram or WhatsApp and stuff, I'd have gone totally mad by now.
Well, I don't want to interfere.
So don't.
But I'm sure if your mum knew how you felt, she might reconsider.
You don't know my mum, and she does know how I feel. She just really doesn't care.
Oh, let me help.
Oh yes, bring her down here and we'll have the Jeremy Kyle show.
Look, I think we should help Amelia and her mother realise they need the city life more than the countryside. That would be the greatest act of kindness we could bestow, and it would get rid of them out of here.
I know you meant that jokingly, Father.
Amen to that.
Oh, your mum might be swayed. Things aren't always as they seem. I'll give you an example. The regulars think I've lost my mind because I stand up from time to time and recite Bible verse. But I'm going to share something with you all now that I've never told you before. Do you know why I have to stand up and recite?
No.
I have OCD. Look, I get thoughts that come into my head. Mine's about the devil. I find them distressing, but I can get rid of them by reciting biblical verse. So when the devil visits me, he gets a verse and goes away. Peace is restored until the next visit. I haven't shared it before because, as you know, I'm a private person, but sometimes you need to share. You should share something of yourself too, Henry.
Don't expect me to share because you shared your mental problems.
Look, what I'm about to say, I say with good intention. Of course you can dismiss it if you like, but it's all meant well.
Yes?
I had a conversation once with a family a little like yours. One wanted a quiet life and the other wanted the excitement of the city, and their kids were caught in the middle. I think the word to best describe the outcome was compromise. Perhaps in a nice atmosphere like this cafe, we might be able to reach a compromise that keeps you all happy. Surely it's worth a try.
This being kind to everyone stuff, it's all a bit weird to me. I'll be honest. I mean, why do you want to help us? You don't even know us.
Well, I suppose I have a different perspective to you, Henry. Many years ago, I was shown kindness.
Not that I'm interested, but...
You are, so I'll tell you. I was a teenager, about your age, Amelia. I had a massive row over a boy I was seeing. I was sitting on a bench crying, and this cat jumped up, came out of nowhere and cuddled up to me and got well and truly hugged and cried over. But it stayed until I stopped crying and I was ready to go home. It followed me the short way home to make sure I got home safely, and then it ran off. I never saw it again, but it gave me the love that I needed at that moment. That cat was kinder to me than anyone else had been.
Aw, that's so sweet.
It changed my life and led me in a way to where I am now. And I learned so much from the cats I took in about how when you give love, you get love. It feels good to give love, and it feels even better getting it. When you do something for others, Henry, it isn't just about them, it's about you as well. Feeling good for making others feel good seems like a win-win situation to me. Surely even someone like you, who seems all about how you benefit, can see what you mean. Think about how big companies go all out to show their social and moral credential nowadays,
Well, I guess you don't know until you try it. Well, alright. I'll ask Michelle to come over. She might dare to brave the storm. And she does like cats more than I do.
Well then, you give her a call and who knows, things might just work out well for all concerned.
It's gone to voicemail.
Probably gone to bed. She doesn't care what I do.
Maybe she's gone looking for you.
Yeah, right.
Are you Michelle by any chance?
Oh, village gossip machine been busy, has it?
No, but I have your husband and daughter here.
I went out in the storm to look for Amelia. I was close to giving up when I saw your light on and people, and I thought, well, it's worth a try.
Half the village are in here.
You couldn't have come home, could you? Oh, no. I had to come out in this thunderstorm and try and find you. No idea where you'd be.
Look.
Next time you storm out, you can stay out.
Fine.
Now you don't mean that. Come on. No quarrelling. It upsets the cats.
Oh, let's all play happy families with the crazy cat lady.
Well, I'm Miriam. That's Ted. That's Father Brian. They're Alison and Gemma. And that's Paul and Katie.
Oh, great. We get an audience.
Well, I can't throw them out in this weather, can I? You start, Amelia.
I hate living in this creepy country bumpkin place. You took me away from my friends, from my school, from everything I knew, just so you could indulge in some selfish dream about living in the middle of nowhere.
We had this discussion. My mental health was suffering with living in the city.
Yeah, and what about my mental health? Hey? Didn't think about me, did you? No, it's always about you.
Oh, it's all about me, is it? Well, seems to me that it's all about you right now. You don't like it here, so I have to suffer. And you turned your dad against me.
He didn't want to come here either.
Look, please, all of you, just hear me out for a minute. Look, I don't know all about you, but something occurs to me that's worth you thinking about. And some of my regulars here want to chip in as well. So hear them out, and if you still can't make peace with each other, well, at least we tried.
Oh, all right, might as well as I'm stuck here.
Amelia, I just wanted to tell you that I know how important parents are and their love for their children.
I'm an only child, so they obviously didn't want another one.
We wanted you.
We couldn't afford another one then. We weren't rich then.
And do you love me?
Of course we do.
Yes.
When I was 10, my parents separated.
Oh, don't give them ideas.
And then a year later, my mum died. Friends said it was a broken heart. I didn't speak to my dad for years. We only made up on his deathbed. You can have the relationship I never had, all three of you. You don't want to fall out with each other. It's never worth it.
We're not separating, Ted. Well, I wasn't planning to.
Michelle?
Oh, great. Why don't you all give us your sob stories?
This isn't a sob story. Look, when I was a priest, I had a family in a similar situation to yours. I suggested a compromise. Everyone was happy with it. Maybe you will be too.
Go on.
There's countryside round every city. You don't have to go 100 miles to find it. I had a parish near Bristol. I was 10 miles from the city, but all I saw from the vicarage was the mouth of the Avon and woodland and beauty. And all I could hear was the sweetest bird song. You could move somewhere near the city and still enjoy the rural life, Michelle. But be close enough to keep Amelia and Henry happy. Look, you're a young woman from the city. You can't possibly be happy here.
Well, most of the locals weren't exactly welcoming, and now I see you still want rid of us.
I think the locals thought you were just another bunch of spoilt rich second home buyers pricing the locals out of their own area. There's too many of them round about here. They're only here a few weeks of the year. I bought my cottage in 1970 for $3,000. Now it's worth $300,000.
We're not trying to get rid of you. You and your family will always be welcome here, and certainly in my cat cafe. But surely you can see how With a little compromise, all three of you could be happy. Whereas right now, two of you aren't. And this is causing conflict. And conflict isn't good for you.
Well, all right, we'll talk about it. Okay?
Okay.
Thanks, Mum. And I don't mind living somewhere a little bit countryside-y, just not miles from civilization.
And I'd have a shorter commute to and from work.
Yes, and you'll have more time together.
Is that a good thing?
Aye.
It'll be cheaper too.
Oh, I suppose.
Please, Mum. Half an hour on the train tops.
Well, I suppose somewhere closer might be more welcoming.
Well, I'm sorry you haven't felt wanted in the village. You can't blame the locals for regarding people from the city as home stealers with so much of it going on. They didn't realise it was your main home and you'd relocate it. I'm sure if they'd known, they'd not been so standoffish.
We haven't said anything yet because we didn't think we had anything to say, really.
Yeah, but the lady at the B&B wouldn't let us stay there because we were lesbians, and we get that a lot. The bakers wouldn't make our wedding cake, the photographer that wouldn't take the wedding photos, the church that wouldn't let us marry there. There's so much bigotry out there, but when we turned up here tonight, like two drowned rats with nowhere to sleep except the car, Miriam took us in. She gave us a room for the night, which I'm sure we'll get to eventually, and she treated us with the same respect as anyone else. She's a good woman, Michelle. She stayed open and provided free drinks and her company and her time just to keep the locals warm and dry and shelter your husband and Amelia from the storm. She didn't ask for anything. She didn't do it to prop up her ego. She did it because she cares. Right, Ali?
Totally. You're one in a million, Miriam.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Well, yes. I'm not sure that her tolerance gives her the right to try and organise our lives, but I suppose we should say thank you.
I won't miss much moving nearer to the city, but I have to say, I will miss this cafe.
Oh, thank you, Henry. That's the kindest thing you said tonight.
I didn't realise how much else there was to life, you know. I'm going to live my life differently from now on, realising being rich isn't just about being wealthy. It can just be happiness. I'll think a bit more about other people and not just walk over everyone to help me get what I want to be.
So, can I have more allowance then?
You walked into that one, Henry.
Yes, and I'll be happy to move somewhere rural for my lovely wife, but just nearer the city than here.
Well, there was no way I could ever live in the city again, but as you said, there are plenty of lovely rural places. A half-hour train ride away. But I don't want to go back to the city. I genuinely think I'd go mad if we stayed there any longer, especially after what happened.
It's all about the compromise, isn't it? And now everyone's a winner.
Maybe you can take a leaf out of Miriam's book and put a little kindness before your slavish adherence to every little nicky-picky little rule.
Rules are there for a reason, darling. If nobody enforced the rules, everyone would do what they liked, wouldn't they? And I wouldn't have a job.
You could work in a different field. With your history degree, you don't have to work for the council.
I paid £2,500 for my NEBOSH diploma so I could get into health and safety. I'll not let that go to waste.
Well, thank you, Miriam, but I think we've imposed long enough and it sounds a bit less wild and windy out there.
It stopped raining, I think.
I don't want to go just yet.
Oh my god, Dad's stroking a cat. Is this an alternate universe?
Well, you can stay a while longer if you want to. I wouldn't throw any of you out in the middle of the night.
I think we should be heading home.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to stay here a while longer.
Well, we'll see you later then.
Love tea, Henry.
Perfect.
And don't be a stranger, any of you. You and your family can come here anytime you like.
I might just take you up on that.
You have been listening to Philippa Stuart as Miriam, Cole Miles as Henry, Charlotte Neal as Amelia, Sue Ford as Michelle and Alex, Alison, Robert Hardy as Paul, Olwen Holme as Katie, Rob Day as Father Bryant, Clair Rosling as Gemma, and Rob Chantler as Ted. Random Acts of Kindness at the Cat Cafe was written by Rob Chantler. It was produced by Victoria Lawrence and directed by Clair Rosling. This has been a Free Theatre Company production.